Hello. Here we go. We're on another deck profile for the rush. Well, we'll call it chaos control. I really thought of a name. We'll call it chaos control. So you just want the list really quickly. Let's just zoom out all the way. These are the list. You get it? Cool. Anyway, back to where we were. I'll probably put the link to the list down below so you can just look at all the effects for yourself. I'm gonna mainly explain quick things about why I picked every card. So going first, I just think if you really want to use up your eggs quickly and like you just need a fifth egg, that sounds reasonable. I think Caprimon is good since in this deck, you don't really care about your hand size. You care about the trashing your deck all the way up to the end. Like it's not security control by any means. Like I don't care about security bombs. If it happens, it happens. But Dawn Deletion lets me delete like enemies' floodgates. I think that's really good. So Psychemon I think is a threat to this deck. As our Alphamon and Lucemon is what we go for game 4. With every Memormon is the better egg. That's why it's a 4 of than a 1 of. 4 and it really gets us more consistency in digging through our deck and getting what we need. So that's great. Alphamon is just a huge part of the engine. I think for any discard deck to draw 2 trash 1. It's just insane for that. Obviously, this card goes really well with the Eismon, Scatter Mode. So that's something the stack you want to go for. Gazimon is a good floodgate. However, I don't think there's too much memory gain in this format. There's some here and there, like Rise Greymon can gain 1 memory if you get a Tamer, March Galga, but they can bounce your rookie pretty easily. You also have Blue Flare. They play a busy memory boost. I did pretty much cancel out an opponent by playing both Gazi and Psychemon. But Psychemon is the bigger threat in the current format. As you do have Royal Knights, you do have Alphamon, you have Blue Flare, Crossheart, and I think it's probably more. But yeah. Psychemon is the better one. That's why it's a 3 of. And for our last rookie, we have Gilmon. Gilmon on play, he just gains Rush if both players' trash are equal to 20 or more. And that's really easy if you're constantly deleting your opponent's board. You constantly trashing your cards in hand and stuff. That's really easy. We put it as a 2 of mainly to like just help chip and go for game a bit faster. I could increase the rookie count. Right now it's currently at 10. But if you want more floodgates or be more consistent into getting a good hand, sure. However, rookies are not the only thing you want in your hand for your first hands. Like you have a bunch of options and a bunch of analogs that are really cheap to go into. So yeah, not necessarily you want rookies in your hand or need rookies in your hand. Next, you have 4 Lucemon. 4 Lucemons, because you'll get to 10 cards in your trash pretty easily. This is out of 4 of, and it can be played for 5, and which is 2 costs cheaper than Machinedramon. It's pretty good. And with combining it with your Kari, you play for 5, recover 1, and considering that it's a memory setter, you're gonna choke your opponent to 1 when you do that, which is pretty cool because you're slowly just recovering. Your opponent has to deal with it, but they're a bit slow because most likely they don't have a memory setter. I think most decks don't have like a heavy amount of memory setters. Like Black or Greymon don't run like so many. You usually run like 1 or 2. The only problem would be like Marcus's or like you just gotta hope that Shine Greymon doesn't get their Marcus early, and you can take advantage in this deck to like choke them to 1 or 2 as much as possible. Next, you have Pokemon. Pokemon is just really for deleting floodgates, like I said before. Psychemon deletes floodgates at times. Pokemon does too. What it also does is also deletes like rookie rush strategies, mainly like Red Hybrid. I would say that's where you take advantage of Pokemon to its fullest. Would I take it out? I think it definitely came up a good amount of time, so I wouldn't raise it. Wouldn't make it more in my deck. Wouldn't make it any less. But yeah, going up next is Scatter Mode. Scatter Mode is just insane fact. You draw 3 trash 2, and like what another good thing is just that you can just hard play it and you don't feel as bad. 4 memory isn't too much. You drop a Tamer for 4, or either you could choke your opponent to 1 as your card, you know, remember switch you to 3. It's a perfect card number. The only tough part about scatter mode is that knowing what cards you want to trash in your hand. And there's a few cards you want to trash, which I'm going to talk about now because this is like the last discard card in the deck. Would be like 1 Chaos Mode at least to allow Dead or Alive to be active, and a Machinedramon. Those cards are pretty much what you want to do first, as now your opponents can be a bit more scared, and you can benefit a lot when your opponents hit a Dead or Alive with Flame House Health and Security. So that's the main important part. And the cards you may be able to trash just because you want to. You can trash it to Fall Down. I feel like you don't go into it a lot. It's more like this is a good card in general to go along with everything else. But you can trash one to Fall Down mode. You're having a tough time. You can trash some options that you think will never play. Like, trust me, you will not always play Flame Hell Scythe, especially if you don't have a yellow source on the field. It's a bit harder. Just like trash it. Trash a Chaos Degrade. Show some fear. Well, just not show some fear. Cause some fear into your opponents. And just make them think you have a lot more Chaos Degrades. But yeah. Next we have Machinedramons. Machinedramons is currently a 4 of. I might bump it down to a 3 of. Because on play recovery 1. That's cool. But the thing is, security control can play this willy-nilly because their security will outweigh the 7 costs memory to play, because an 8 cost Chaos Degrade will be in your security now due to the recovery. However, because we're less heavy on such like a security control type of playstyle, this is not as needed to hard play, and it's only needed just for a Flame Hell Scythe, really. So I might bump this down to a 3 because I'm not using it as much as I'm hard play recovery. I'm using Lucemon really. Next, you have Fall Down mode. You have a purple card in your source, mainly the Lucemon Chaos mode. D level 4 or lower. You have a yellow, recover 1. So that will be either Lucemon, you Digivolve into Chaos mode in there, or either just the Machinedramon. That's how you recover your 1. What's super duper great about this card though is the on deletion. On deletion, you may pay a purple level 4 or lower, purple or yellow level 4. So obviously you can go from Eismon all the way down to Gabu, but pretty much depending on the situation, if you're not trying to end game and just take out Lucemon, it's a level 3 and you get now a 10k body that allows you to recover. Just grab that. However, if the situation calls you to control Born, let's say against like Royal Knights, just get a Psychemon off of there. If you want to end game and be more aggressive, get the Gilmon to rush. Like, you have 3 optimally like good things to get. Okay, depending on the situation, it's great. And I guess I should mention this in some of my videos for exhibiting the Lucemon deck. There is a reduce play cost function and a Digivolution function that's unique to Chaos mode. So I think there's some misplays here where you only Digivolve for 7 on top of the level 3 Lucemon. So be wary of that, because you could be confused with the other effect. For every 10 cards you trash, reduce memory cost by 3. And for that part of the effect, it's not great, I want to say, because like 10 cards you trash, sure, but then it could cost 11 memory. 20 cards you trash, that's a bit harder, because that's just only your trash, and then it goes down to 7. Like, okay, I guess that's a bit more doable. And going down from 7 to like 4, that's super hard. You're not gonna get like 40 cards in trash, like, mainly ever. So yeah. And Chaos mode, I would say it is pretty good at just mainly deleting Tamers. I would say deleting Tamers and bigger bodies. The only bad part is that it cannot delete a level 7. So, like, beware of that. But yeah. Alright, that's about it for these purple yellow stuff. Going to Gallimon. Gallimon is sort of like our go-to card near the end game, and a thing you're holding onto throughout the game. Like, for instance, if you see this in your hand and like a missed memory boost and some tamers, just keep that hand. There's no Digimon there, but as long as you have ways to mill your deck and to use this right when it's, you know, perfect, do it. So what's great about this card is obviously you can reduce the play cost by 2 for every 5 cards in both players' trash. If you're constantly controlling the board, if you're constantly milling yourself, this is a great card, easy card to play. And it does. And if you're against like Black or Greymon, I think this is a great counter because it gets to double delete a card essentially, or even Alphamon, because Alphamon only has protection to like one thing at a time, or like one time per turn. And I'm only saying this if the opponent is like a one stack type of deck. So, I'm playing with Ninja Evolving or when attacking, delete one opponent's Digimon with 6 here or less, totally awesome. And then just delete a smaller body. No Digimon was deleted. Delete a 13k or higher. So obviously you can just delete small. You can like delete also like rush boards. So he's just a great card. The only downside to him is that you do need no Digimon on the field when playing this card. So you can't just rush with 2 of them all at once. You need to be mindful of just having no Digimon on the field at the right time. Like, so sometimes I don't promote my Digimon just so I can play Gallimon, because this Gallimon will play so much more, will have so much more value. After that, with that extra memory, I could play options, or just hard play like Lucemon, scatter modes to help prepare for next game. And also times I just use Gallimon to rush and use his little protege Guilmon to go for game. So yeah, Gallimon is sort of like the centerpiece of the deck when it comes to ending the game. Next you have one of Death X. I might bump it up, who knows? But Death X is a great card, as you just sort of board wipe a lot of times when you on play it. And end opponent's turns, delete all your opponent's Digimon with the lowest play costs. And that just really controls the board, as in your opponent doesn't want to pretty much do anything on the board. They just want to stand in the back. So yeah, Death X is a strong card. If you want, you can take out Machinedramon for it to get 2 of, or take out Machinedramon to get an Eismon to play off of the discard effects. But yeah. Next thing I got Calling from Darkness. Calling from Darkness does 2 things. One, if you don't have pieces, let's say you don't have a rookie because you swung with it, and you know you have a low rookie count compared to other decks. Just use Calling from Darkness, get it back, Digimon in the back, or also to just delete your Digimon on the field. Scatter mode got jamming, didn't die. Use Calling to delete it, and also using Calling does allow you to kill your Digimon to help clear your own board to help get Gallimon in play. So yeah, great card. You don't always have to get your 2 purple Digimons from this effect, just only when you need it. Next we have Dead or Alive. Dead or Alive I think is a bit of a rough card, because I don't always have a purple level 5 when it gets procced in trash. So that's a bit hard. And sometimes I do trash my yellow Lucemon, because having 4, like, you're not gonna play all 4 in a game. So if I have 2, I'll definitely just trash 1 for Dead or Alive, so it can be procced with the 10 or more in trash. But Dead or Alive, I think it depends on you. If you think you can get hit, if you like the card, you think you get hit in security a lot, go ahead and play it. Because having a Lucemon come out and delete a Tamer, or like one of your opponent's Digimon, is a great like occurrence. But I don't see it as much. Maybe I'll toy around with it, but for now it's at a 2. Since I guess we're focused on milling and just focus on what I can do versus what my security can do, you know. Next up we have Misplayed Boost. And like I said before in the beginning, Gazimon is not a or these type of memory floodgates are not too important in the current format. So no one will stop your missed memory boost, and you can just trash 2, draw 1, aka set yourself up for the end game. So I'll say you don't typically use this to just go choke your opponent. I think really hold off on this to go for the end game. Like for instance, if you saw my game with Machinedramon, I lost 1 round just because I didn't save it for this Guilmon to go for game. Like I had game multiple times if I had the memory enough to go rush with Guilmon. So having the missed memory boost is important, especially if you want to go into Alphamon and stay within the turn, let's say for a bit early to mid game. So yeah, missed memory boost is an awesome card, and it is gonna be R4 of. Next we got Flame Hell Scythe. Flame Hell Scythe, I say, is our security card that you typically want to see, because I feel like even if Machinedramon is not in security or not in trash, every other card is a good card to just be played out. So yeah, really awesome to see Flame Hell Scythe. Obviously, you could play it if you have a yellow source in the field. That is kind of doable because Karis and Lucemons are pretty cheap to play. But it also depends on what is the current tempo in the field. Reinforced Memory Boost. Reinforced Memory Boost obviously is a great card. You gain 3 memory. However, to be honest, I haven't played it too much. I mainly got it off of security and gained 3 memory off of it. But in my hand, I don't know. I haven't been using it too much. I think I might take it out, to be honest, because I think this is more of like a security control card. Because searching top 2, if you're playing security control, you will have security bombs to pick off of, or like a Tamer. But in this deck, like you'll just reveal that you're heavily a Digimon deck, and just reveal that security is safe. It costs 6 memory. Obviously, if it does cost 6 memory, I think you are at a good spot to tap your yellow stuff. But again, I don't think you have Tourney. I think most of my games I don't have a yellow on board. So reinforcing memory boost, it gets a bit underutilized. So yeah, might take that out. Next, I have two of Chaos Degrades. Chaos Degrades is not a card we'll be using a lot. It's not a security bomb a lot. I say if it's in your security, if it's in your hand at perfect time, that's great. But this is also just a fear tactic, and it's a great card for the what if and a certain like decks you're going against, like Machinedramon. This is a great card to go against them. Black or Greymon, this is a great card to go against them if you have the colors at the time. So yeah, it's a great card. Another card that is, I think this is one of the perfect cards in our decks. Because Cylinder Missed Memory Boost, it costs 3 to sort of set up your trash for 2. Analog pretty much does the same thing, but for cost 2, but you don't gain the memory. But you don't have a delay to gain memory. That's totally fine, because unlike Missed Memory Boost, Analog doesn't whiff your Gallantmons. Missed Memory Boost can trash your Gallantmons, which is a bit scary because there's no way for you to get it back in this deck. So Analog is your go-to to try to get it back. You trash top 3, you gain 1 Digimon. Obviously, that's anything you have here, and that's great. And what I love about this cost 2, and like just like all this like vast amount of memory, like variant in this deck, is that your goal is also to choke your opponent to 1. I think a lot of times in the deck. So you want to just keep rushing, choke your opponent to 1, and your opponent just wonder how they're gonna get out of that situation if they can't even set up. So Analog is a good card. But bump it up to 3, maybe, it's hard to tell, but I do like the card a lot. Because sometimes you do need the purple sources to, like you don't want to swing because you want to play Missed Memory Boost. So during that time, you could just say screw it, I'm not gonna swing because I have multiple analogs in my hand to play off instead. And in the next turn after, then you can play your Missed Memory Boost because you just hatched, so you're not in a rush. Next, we had Kari as a 3 of. I did have it as a 4 of, but I did see that I do find it hard at times to play it and not lose a tempo. But card is at a 3 of because it's a memory setter, which is super great because you do need Gilmon. You do need a perfect 3 memory to go for Gilmon to swing and rush. And you do need, and you could choke with Lucemon, or even stay within turn using her effects, and just go into and just play out your Flame House for cheaper. Blah blah blah. Yeah, it's a great card, though it is at a 3 of. And if you want to go for like certain here's some side deck cards, I guess. Okay, I thought about Avenge Kidmon in the deck because I do mill myself heavily in this deck. So Avenge Kidmon wouldn't be too bad. At the same time, if I do that, I probably might run more options, right? I mean, actually, that wouldn't be too bad because if you're willing to trash your options, like trash all of them with your effects, or use all of them, then you can play Avenge Kidmon and then recover into the correct option cards in the order that you wanted because you sorted it out. So Avenge Kidmon might be the tech card I run in the deck now. Icemon is a maybe, but I don't feel like I have too much use of it because I feel like because it's a 1 of, there's times it's insecurity. There's times where like I have to digital for 2 into my like rookies, and I don't know, I just don't gain much advantage of it. It's a great card, but I don't know. If you find the room, like you want to reduce cost, you want to reduce Lucemon, reduce Machinedramon, you could definitely run both. Now you have 50 cards in deck. And obviously, it's a lot of things you do. You can increase the ratio of everything. Put this as a 4 of. I'm kidding. It's restricted. Okay. But yeah. So you can do all that. So again, here's the deck. I'm definitely just going to put a link down below. Hope you guys have a great day or not. The choice is yours. Goodbye.